There comes a time in life when you realize the hardest person to say no to is the one who taught you to always say yes. You bend, you smile, you overgive. Not because you're weak, but because somewhere along the way, you started believing your worth was measured by how useful you are to others. But here's the truth, no one told you. The more you disappear for people, the less they notice you're gone. This story is about what happens right before a person breaks, and what happens when they finally stop. In a quiet office where deadlines run faster than people, worked a young woman named Mira. The kind you could count on, the kind who never complained, the kind who didn't know how to protect her own heart. Everyone depended on her. No one actually saw her until one day, someone finally did. Mira arrived at the office before the sun did. She always did. The hallways were quiet, lit only by the blue glow of computer screens left running overnight. She liked it this way. Silence made it easier to prepare herself for the noise that would follow. By the time everyone else walked in, she had already answered emails, fixed the printer, reviewed the weekly report, and helped 2 colleagues with tasks they should have done themselves. "Thank you, Mira. You're a lifesaver," they'd say. But she noticed they never remembered to ask how she was. She wasn't bitter, just tired. Tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. Tired in a way that came from carrying things no one else even noticed she held. Still, she kept smiling, because she believed that kindness meant endurance, and endurance meant worth. What she didn't see was how much of herself she left behind every time she saved someone else. For a while, it almost felt good, the rush of being needed. Mira became the person everyone turned to when things slipped through the cracks. A missed deadline? Give it to Mira. A confused client? Mira will handle it. A colleague overwhelmed? Mira, can you just... Each request came with praise wrapped around it, and Mira absorbed every word like sunlight after a long winter. She worked late, skipped lunch, volunteered for anything left undone. Her manager called her reliable. Her teammates called her the backbone, and she started believing it. With every task she rescued, her confidence grew, not because she felt powerful, but because she felt validated. But somewhere in the rise, a quiet flaw began to form. People weren't admiring her kindness. They were depending on her silence. Every yes made her indispensable, and every yes erased a piece of her own boundaries. She didn't know it yet, but the pedestal they placed her on was already beginning to crack. The breaking point didn't arrive loudly. It came the way most heartbreaks do, quietly, without warning. A major client project was slipping. A senior colleague had delayed tasks for weeks, and Mira stepped in like always. She rewrote reports, fixed errors, stayed late until her vision blurred. She told herself it was worth it. It had to be. On the day of the final review, everything collapsed. The senior colleague panicked, blamed the delays on unclear communication, and pointed to Mira. Silence filled the room. Her manager's voice wasn't harsh, but disappointment has a way of cutting the deepest. "Mira, how did this happen?" She opened her mouth to speak, but years of being quiet made the words disappear. She took the blame, just as she always had. When the meeting ended, she walked out slowly, feeling a weight settle on her chest. Not anger, not shock, just a hollow ache. She had protected everyone, and no one protected her. Mira told herself it was just a bad day. One mistake, one misunderstanding. Things like this happen, right? So the next morning, she arrived even earlier than before. She fixed the same problems, picked up the same forgotten tasks, apologized for things she didn't do, and smiled like nothing inside her had cracked. Whenever someone said, "Mira, can you help for a minute?" she answered automatically, "Of course." But every yes felt heavier. She replayed the meeting in her mind, trying to find the moment she failed, trying to justify the blame, trying to believe she deserved it. Her chest tightened whenever she passed her manager's office. She worked harder, hoping effort could erase humiliation. But denial has a sound, a quiet echo beneath the voice that says, "I'm fine." And even though Mira wouldn't admit it, a part of her knew. She wasn't fine. She was disappearing. Mira was at the copier when she heard a gentle voice behind her. "You look tired," it said, not as judgment, not as gossip, but as truth spoken softly. She turned to find Mr. Rayan, the quiet elder co-worker everyone overlooked just as easily as they overlooked her. He held a stack of papers, but his eyes were on her, really on her. "Long week?" he asked. She forced a smile. "I'm fine." He studied her for a moment, then said a line that landed deeper than she expected. "Kindness without boundaries is just slow self-erasure." Mira froze. The copier hummed beside them, but the world felt suddenly still. Mr. Rayan set his papers down gently. "You help everyone," he said, "but who teaches them how to treat you?" He didn't stay for her answer. He just patted her shoulder once and walked away, leaving his words behind like a door she never realized she needed to open. On her way home, Mr. Rayan's words wouldn't leave her, not heavy, just persistent, like a truth she'd ignored for too long. Kindness without boundaries is self-erasure. For the first time, Mira wondered what choosing herself might feel like. The next morning, she tried something small. When a colleague said, "Mira, can you handle this?" she breathed in and answered, "I can't take more today. You'll need to manage this one." Her voice shook, but she didn't. Nothing exploded. No one was angry. The colleague simply nodded and walked away. A quiet relief bloomed in her chest. Later, she left the office on time, cooked a simple meal, opened a book she hadn't touched in months, sat with the silence, and realized it wasn't threatening. It was peaceful. That night, the weight she'd carried for years loosened, as if her heart finally understood. Saying no wasn't selfish. It was survival. Mira didn't change overnight, but something inside her had shifted just enough to let the light in. She started choosing her tasks more carefully, speaking with clarity instead of apology, and giving from a place of fullness, not exhaustion. People noticed, not because she was doing more, but because she carried herself differently, steadier, calmer, anchored. When someone tried to hand her their unfinished work, she smiled and said, "I trust you can handle this." And suddenly, they did. Her manager, once distant, began treating her with a respect she hadn't felt before. Not praise, respect. At lunch, she sat by the window, letting sunlight warm her face, feeling the quiet pride of someone finally returning to herself. The world hadn't softened, but now she knew how to stand inside it without disappearing. She no longer needed approval to breathe. Self-respect had become her new oxygen. And for the first time in a long time, Mira felt whole. There comes a moment in every journey when the lesson becomes clearer than the pain that taught it. For Mira, it wasn't dramatic or loud. It was the quiet realization that self-respect is not a luxury. It's where healing begins. Here is what her story leaves behind. You don't owe anyone your peace. Kindness means giving, not disappearing. Boundaries protect your light. They teach others how to meet you with respect. Approval is temporary. Self-worth is built from the inside out. Saying no is not rejection. It is choosing the life your heart can survive. If you're tired of shrinking yourself for others, pause, breathe, and whisper, "I deserve better." Because you do. You've been listening to Uplyft Tales, stories that lift the soul, one truth at a time. If Mira's journey touched your heart, comment below with one word: rise. And remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of hope and healing.